and expectations for your rookie. A lot about him to take him kind of high.
Yeah, well, I think to me one of there's a number of things physically. Because it's so demanding, right? You have to be able to run block, pass block. You got to get open in the pass game, and I think that's one element. But also is the mental side of it. I mean, I always make this argument. Besides the quarterback, the tight ends have to know more than anybody else offensively. You got to know it all, and so I think that's why you don't always see that. Well, it's one of the reasons why we drafted Laporta, because we think he can handle a lot. We think he's got versatility. Physically, he can do a little bit of everything, but also mentally, he's pretty sharp for a rookie. Now, he's got growing pains. I mean, he's already gone the wrong way a couple of times. That's going to happen. But we think this guy is, that he'll be able to pick this up pretty quick as he gets reps. So that's why we're pretty hopeful this kid can come on sooner than later.
And there it is, spoken from a former NFL tight end himself.
Yeah.
That he sees Sam Laporta as being a guy who will get adapted early. Seeing him picking up a complex offense, especially when it comes to what tight ends have to do, that Ben Johnson puts out there with all the different run blocking schemes, pass protection schemes, whatever they're planning to do. He sees Sam Laporta picking up that offense pretty early and being a factor in this offense early. Does that change your mind about how much he's going to mean to this team, or putting up better numbers than T.J. Hawkinson's rookie year?
Not in year one, no. I still think especially this offense. Like when I listen to that, I don't think like he means right away. You know what I'm saying? I think he's sooner than later, meaning his confidence, he's gonna pick up the offense. I don't know if that necessarily means like right away in his rookie year. Doesn't mean that Sam Laporta's not gonna contribute to this offense at all. Like you saw James Mitchell with a touchdown catch, and another big first down catch too. Like he's gonna have his moments. He's got the plays drawn for him because he has the skill set to offer. I mean, we saw the numbers compared to a guy that's compared as possibly the number one tight end in this year's draft class, and Michael Mayer. Ultimately, obviously, it's Dalton Kincaid, but by the numbers, on the measurements, Sam Laporta beat him by everything. Everything outside of, I think it was arm's length maybe, or something like that, or maybe weight. Outside of that, Sam Laporta was him. So there's definitely be plays targeted and specified for Sam Laporta to excel in. And I think it's dope to have that question asked to Dan Campbell, because that's something I made note of too. You don't see rookie tight ends contribute to the game right away. And it's also dope to have the answer of like, why is that? Well, yeah, it's because you're not just blocking. You're not just catching the football. You know how to know the blocking schemes. You know how to know the blocking schemes and passing plays. You got to know them to run plays too. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more to pick up, especially in an offense like this. But he's still going to have his moments to shine. I just don't think it's going to be as... I'm only doing it because I don't want him to have like some Lions fans,
crazy expectations.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put that on him because we shouldn't have those expectations of a tight end in a rookie year. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. James M. makes a good point in the Woodward Sports Chat. He says, Laporta going to take touches away from Sewell. I don't like that. We saw Penei Sewell is a receiving threat out there, so that is a good point. But I do think I have high expectations for Sam Laporta, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not running from it. I'm not scared of it. I think Sam Laporta is going to go out there and he's going to play a good role in this offense. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and set records or anything like that for a rookie tight end, but I think he'll have a good role. He's built for this offense on how he can catch the ball and move after the catch. I think he is going to, day one, be the best tight end on this roster and thus get the most snaps. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and with Dan Campbell saying he's picking up the offense already is something I'm very happy with.
I can't believe they traded for a fucking kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically the conditional pick, it feels a lot better. But yeah, it's a Sam Laporta situation. I don't know, GB. You're hype on Sam Laporta this year. What'd you make of Dan Campbell's comments?
No, I mean, his comments are fair. You got to take into mind that he is a rookie tight end, but above that, just a rookie in general. And that goes for all the rookies out there right now. No rookie is just immediately going to step on the field and know exactly what to do, where to be at every single play and every single moment. So there's going to be growing pains. But as Spencer said, there's going to be plays and things set up for him that Ben Johnson has made for him to excel in certain games, which is fine. But it just takes time for him to eventually get the hang of the NFL, the flow of the game, and everything. It just takes time. That's all.
And I almost want it that way too with Sam Laporta. Like, I'd rather have a guy that's really good at one thing, versus just being okay at a bunch of different things. You know what I'm saying? And especially in this offense specifically, when there's so many weapons that Jared Goff, you want him to be able to utilize. And to be honest with you, I think that's when Jared Goff is his best too, is like, well, I don't know, because Amon Ra kind of is his go-to, but when you have that, it's a lot harder for teams to game plan for you. And I'll never forget the day Dan Campbell was hired, and they kind of asked him, like, what's the mold going to look like of this team and the offense more specifically moving forward? And he kind of just said the exact same thing. It's like, I want us to change week to week. I want us to change week to week based upon what opponent we're facing, and we want to attack their weaknesses and use our strengths to do so. And I think of, like, the dynasty in the NFL that comes to my mind. Obviously, you see the birth of the KC coming on now. But before then, it was the New England Patriots. With the New England Patriots, there were games where Tom Brady would only throw the ball 12 times.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think there's a Sam Flannels, and I'm kind of somewhere in the gray area too with that one. It was like Tom Brady, like part of a great regime and system, like all together. Obviously, with Tampa, did his thing too. Super fucking stacked team, but Tom's also really great. There's no discounting that.
Yeah.
But like, when you have that type of offense specifically, like you are the fucking one that dictates the game. You decide how this thing's going down. Are we gonna have a shootout today? Are we taking the air out of the ball today? Are we gonna make things like real nasty and physical? Like what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like I got it all. Like what do you need? You know what I'm saying? It's like with the offense being molded around that, I'd rather have Sam Laporta in his rookie year focus on his strengths, and his strengths within this offense versus him being forced to like just do everything.
Yeah.
And I think they have the tight end room where you have that ability. Because again, Wright, Zylstra, Mitchell all had their moments last year. Mitchell less than the other two, but still, I think you imagine a jump out of him too.
I like that, but also I think the strengths of Sam Laporta in this offense are going to be being a weapon, catching the ball and making plays after the catch. Like those are his strengths. That's what he does best. He makes plays after the catch. He's not brought in here to be strictly hand in the dirt, seventh blocker on the line going after people. Like he is going to go out there and he is going to be a weapon in the passing game. So maybe he's not getting Travis Kelce type volume or anything. That's not what I'm asking for, but I expect him to make a difference. I expect to see some game changing plays from him his rookie year. Like we saw what Ben Johnson did with TJ Hawkinson in the beginning of the year when he had a playmaking tight end. TJ Hawkinson was putting up numbers before he got traded. He had a Pro Bowl season, half of which was spent in Detroit. So now that Ben Johnson has his hands on another playmaking tight end, a guy that can be a mismatch if you put a linebacker on him, if you put a corner on him, he's going to abuse that. So I expect to see him get a fair share of targets in this system and put up some numbers.
Again, I think we need to cool the expectations a bit. Like rookie quarterback, rookie tight end, complex offense. I'm not saying that he won't be productive in moments, but you gotta expect it to come in moments. You can't expect a fair share of targets or anything like that until he proves himself. Like, yeah, there's hot reports coming out of rookie minicamp. It's a rookie minicamp. It's a rookie going against other rookies and 7-on-7 ball. You know what I'm saying? There's not like physical. There's not even an offensive line in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him, that's all.
Is that a crazy reach for him though to be a guy that they had as a first round grade? Say he's going to be better than Brock Wright and James Mitchell and Shane Zylstra? Like those aren't, no disrespect to those guys, they're not barn burners. Those aren't Pro Bowlers.
I think pound for pound, he's got a higher, again, out of the draft class, he's got the highest like measurements of everyone. But I'm talking about from a production standpoint. I think you should expect it more to come as a piece of the puzzle, not a chunk of it, if that makes sense. Like within the tight end room, they're each going to have their own role, within the offense. And
I think his role is going to be make plays. Like that's what he's best at.
I think we're going to see him shine the most, and this is just off the top of my head. I never like sat down and thought about this and had this go through my head, but I'm thinking maybe like on like third down situations where you got the receivers going out a little bit longer and he's underneath because like you said, he's great after the catch. You got to play, I don't know if it was against Kentucky or whatever, but against whatever blue team it was, he just fucking jumping around, spinning around, doing whatever he needed to do. Like I could definitely see him shine in those moments, or just situations that we saw drawn up for James Mitchell last year too. Or even, was it Wright or Zylstra at the game winning against the Jets?
Zylstra. Right, that was right.
Yeah, like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the tight ends set an all-time record in franchise history of like 12 touchdowns. Like he's going to be used that same exact way, sparingly, or when available.
See, I don't know, man. I think they did that, used them sparingly because they didn't have that guy in that room. They didn't have a stud in that room. Like, again, no offense to James Mitchell, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra, but they didn't have that one guy that's like, okay, yeah, this is our weapon. They drafted him to be their weapon in that room. They drafted him to be that guy in their room.
I'm just saying, don't expect it year one.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not expecting a Pro Bowl season or anything like that, but we looked at TJ Hawkinson's numbers, and is it crazy?
They were abnormal. His numbers were abnormal.
Is it crazy to expect over 500 receiving yards out of this guy?
It's a high expectation, yes.
I don't think it's that high.
Pretty high. I mean, like, just look at the tight ends in general. Like, you know, the receiving yards at the end of the year. I mean, I don't know if you want to pull it up or you or
I'm
JB.
about to look up Eric Abrams' rookie numbers.
Yeah, or even just the tight end numbers of last year. Outside of Travis Kelce, I guarantee you, even the top names, probably around like 700-800 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me to know, but I'm going to pass on to Chris so I can look them up my daily self.
I think what you're going to see with Sam Laporta and Gibbs too is a lot what you've seen on the defensive side of the ball last year with Hutchinson and Kirby Joseph, guys that really picked it up in that 10-week stretch right at the end of the season. Well, and that's just what I see with rookies and in terms of reading the game, understanding the game, learning the game. I think Sam Laporta will have a much bigger second half of the season than first half, and same with Gibbs. These guys are going to take time to, like you said, find their role and then eventually showcase more, because I do believe Sam Laporta is going to be a talented player, but it's going to take time. And I think just looking at last year's Lions is a perfect example of what happens with rookies. Is they start with some rough spots, and then as the season goes on, that was a good week. And next thing you know, they're making plays and they're key contributors on this team. So I think Sam Laporta could be can look much better in just the span of a year, rather than waiting all the way till next season.
If I could articulate it, I'd probably set the expectation of looking at it as the Lions defense last year. Beginning of the year, not that great. As the year progressed, they get their feet a little bit more wet, get a little bit more experience.
That's a better way of
Starting to
putting
come
it
around.
where I was going with it.
Yeah, no, but you helped me get there. And by the way, as far as expectations go, the 500 yards, Dalton Schultz, top 10 tight end in receiving yards this past season, 577 yards, like 500 plus yards. It's a big expectation, and this is like a multiverse offense.
Yeah. There's a lot of layers. Like I said, I'm expecting to see like week 1, week 2. You know, you'll miss a block here, or he'll run a wrong route here or there, and those are things we may not catch, but the coaching staff will catch, and Sam Laporta will catch, and he'll learn, and then down the end of the stretch, he'll have a game like Hawkinson. It's not crazy to me if he has one game like Hawkinson had against Seattle, where he just absolutely explodes.
Yeah, and like a Jordan Akins. So do you know Jordan Akins off the top of your head? No. A tight end from Cleveland.
Okay.
37 catches, 495 yards, 5 touchdowns. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility for Sam Laporta's rookie year.
We gonna see.